If you find yourself in a position where you have no choice but to fight, even if you say, I am not a fighter, you will still fight. Now in Exodus chapter 17, the Amalekites came against Israel, and the nation had no option but to fight. And right there, God spoke to Moses, and Moses said to Joshua, tomorrow go and fight against the Amalekites, and I will go and stand on the hill with the rod of God in my hand. And this is just so profound, because when God called Moses the first time, God asked Moses, what is in your hand? And it was the rod. That same rod that God used to set the people of Israel free in the hands of Moses. Now Moses was almost like saying to God, I want to remind you of the calling. I want to remind you, oh God, of your faithfulness when you called me in the first place. There is an assignment that God had placed upon Moses' life, and now Moses was holding on to that assignment. He was holding on to the calling. He was holding on to the faithfulness of God. The way forward is determined by what you can see when you stand next to God. I want to say to you that your victory over your enemy is not determined by how you face your enemy. It is determined by how you can hear God. Moses heard God. I have a plan, Joshua. I know the Amalekites are here. I know they are a powerful force and they are a very strong nation. But I have heard God. Exodus chapter 17 verse 11 says, and so it was, the moment Moses raised his hand, that Israel prevailed. You see, your victory in one place is determined by what you know you should do in another place. Israel's victory in the valley against the Amalekites was directly connected to what Moses did on the hill, how he faced God and how he gazed into heaven and how he addressed the throne of Almighty God, his hands raised to heaven. The same hand that many years before that slew an Egyptian man in Egypt, that hand was raised to heaven. I'm not going to fight my battles through how I thought I would have to do it. I'm going to trust the power of Almighty God. I'm going to look into the eyes of the living God. And as Moses' hand was raised to heaven, God touched the hand of Moses, and the hand of the throne of God came upon the nation of Israel, and they absolutely defeated the Amalekites. It is not a big thing to do, just to raise your hand to heaven. Yet it conquered the Amalekites in the Old Testament. No matter what your challenge or what your crisis might be, your victory is not determined by how well you can fight in the valley, how you speak or how you address the enemy. Your victory is determined by how well you can hear God.